Greetings, Marsh here, and welcome to episode 43 of my modded Factorio playthrough. In this episode, we are going to produce sulfuric acid and also centralize our water electrolysis setup. What's wrong with this spot right here? Let's just use it. And usually the chemical processing doesn't take that much space, so it's worthwhile to just make it nice and open. Just so you have room to move things around if you need to. Like, don't feel the need to squish the stuff as tightly as you can get it, because it doesn't, there's really no advantage to that unless it's huge, but this will not be. Let's see, let's just kind of put him right here. So those are making sulfur dioxide gas. We can connect these two. Oh yeah, I guess we need to make oxygen too. We'll calculate that in a bit. So we can put a tank in here. Let's put it right here. The reason being that we also have sulfur dioxide gas coming from lead, and we need that to always be able to make it into the tank. So we'll put a top-up valve here to make sure that there is always room for that sulfur dioxide gas to make it in. And we also need to make sulfur dioxide gas from calcium sulfate, but that's probably easier to do in the other location. So we'll worry about that later. So we need 3 plants making the sulfuric acid. It's getting a little crowded in here already. See what I'm talking about? Always space these things out. For the purified water. I think we need purified water. How much regular water goes into this thing? 200. We are starting to get close to that maximum, but I think we can still pull it off of this right here. Off of this line. So we need another plant, and let's steal one. And we just picked up a ton of sulfur. And I'll just leave the rest of it there. Let's see, let's get the sulfur in here. Yellow inserters. So we got the purified water hooked up. And then this is just another clarifier. Uh-oh, just noticed a huge problem we have. The entire factory is backed up because we are full on stone. Which means we need to dump it somewhere. And I've been using bricks and replacing most of the factory with concrete. The dark gray here is concrete, but I've almost got it covered up now. And at this point, we'll just have to start covering parts that we haven't even been at yet. We definitely need to deal with that stone with a process, which we do have access to after we're making sulfuric acid, so this is definitely well timed for that. Okay, that is our sulfuric acid output, so now we need somewhere to store it. This time we'll use the biggest available tank we have. Let's say right there. And we want that to fill up all the way. Okay, now we need oxygen. So you see how if we use the electrolyzer, it'll take a 2-second crafting time, compared to not using the electrolyzer, it takes a 4-second crafting time. So it's much more efficient to use the electrolyzer. So since we're at that point, we probably should. And you can see how it requires 12 electrolyzers to do this, even with the fast ones. However, we're also electrolyzing to make steel here. We got 3 making steel. And we got, looks like functionally we have 1 over here making lead. So besides centralizing our sulfuric acid processing, we should also centralize our oxygen processing as well. So let's do the setup with, let's say, 16 electrolyzers. Well, I placed a bunch of concrete, and it seems like it's helped a bit. It's cleared it up. Specifically, it's just that there's all this crushed stone that we could really save a lot of space by filling it back up into slag, so we'll have to keep an eye on this. One other thing we can do to dump stone is to make landfill with it, and we do need a bunch of landfill eventually, so it's not the worst thing in the world to do with it. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. So we need to make quite a bit of oxygen here. And this process is kind of complicated because we need to create electrolyzer electrodes from the dirty ones. It's not calculating this correctly for some reason. Let's change this and see what we can do with it. Okay, so we need more than 25. What about 40%? Okay, 40% gets it done. So we need 3.5 plants, cleaning electrodes, and then 12 electrolyzers. Oh, but actually we wanted to have 16 of them. So we want to create an excess. So there we go. So now we need 4.6. Looks like we also need purified water to clean these electrodes. So let's move the purified water down. And now it says we need 4 of them. However, it does just use water, so we can cycle that water back into the system. So we have that going for us. Okay, let's just place these 3 right here. What are we going to need as far as clarifiers? Just the one. However, because we are producing water from a different source, let's do a top-up valve. I mean, we could just dump the water if we want to, but why bother? We already went through the effort of pumping it. So let's have a top-up valve and put it all the way at the source. Let's put a tank in here. Right here ought to work fine. And that'll fill up to about 16K and stop. It pretty much has. And then we need a bunch of electrolyzers. Well, let's see what it looks like and then go from there. Over here isn't a terrible spot for them. Okay, I think I have a repeatable setup here that will take up very little space, or at least as little as this can. Something like this. Except we don't need that there. Yes, I do believe that works. So we need 16 in total. So it means we don't need these guys. Okay, so this is part of the repeatable pattern. So let's say we have the used ones going out and the fresh ones going in. So let's copy this whole thing and put it right here. Although, we're running out of space here. Let's put it somewhere we have a little more space to work with. Okay, now we need to get all these inserters in here. Okay, looking pretty good so far. Now we got to get these electrodes. We need 5 chemical plants to clean them. Let's get them hooked up to the purified water, which is over here. And the output of regular water, which could go there. And there is plenty of space. And mineralized water, which has to go way down here. And let's send it up this way. Looks like because of the positions of these pipes here, I can't do a simple long-handed or short-handed inserter. See, like over here, I can do the long-handed ones, but it doesn't quite work here because the setups of the pipes. I suppose I could move some of these pipes around to make it happen. Like doing that. There we go. So that's the input. And the output will go up there. They have long-handed ones right there. Something like this, just gotta get the belts moved around. Kind of a bit of a mess, but it should work okay. But the problem is we need to seed this with electrodes. It won't consume electrodes, but we do need to seed it with some. And electrodes are just steel and carbon. So, we can just create an assembly machine. Looks like they're supposed to be here. Uh-oh. Biters got through. They're damaging the power generation. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Is that all of them? Uh-oh, we might need to go out there and, Oh, I see what happened. Might need to go out there and kill a lot of biters, but it looks like it bothered them right there, and that's why they attacked. So let's go up there and get rid of them. We're just about at the point where we need to expand the base and wall it off on the other side and be completely protected from biter attacks. But I don't quite want to deal with that yet because, as you can see, sulfur is taking quite a bit of time. Well, the shooting is certainly happening a lot faster than it was. Let's go up here and kill those guys too. That looks like a much bigger base. Okay, so we need to seed this. With steel and carbon. Not sure how much. Let's say 4 stacks of each. So 4 stacks of carbon. 4 stacks of steel. This might take a little while. In the meantime, I'll put some more bricks down. Oof, this is going to take quite a while. So we need more assemblers. I was hoping this would be a simple thing, but it never works out that way. Alright, that should go a little faster. This is only temporary here, just to fill it up, basically. Well, there's some more work we can do while we're waiting here. Now that we have our output of hydrogen gas, a fluid burning generator can burn 60 fluid a second. And since we have 319 at total, that means we would need 6 of them, which is quite a bit. It might be worth just doing the fluid burning boilers. So first we would need boiler 2. Which we can research. And then from there we would get fluid burning boiler. So basically that would be very similar to the way we're producing power now. Just requires more pieces, but the generator is just a nice little small thing to put somewhere, but it's not necessarily the most efficient way of doing things. So we would do boiler 2, and then the fluid burning boiler, which consumes 90. And in addition, it'll work better with the second tier of steam engines. So the ratio changes a bit, where you get 90 steam per second off of this better boiler, and then you can put 3 steam engines on the end of it instead of 2. So we need somewhere for the hydrogen to go, and somewhere for the oxygen to go. Let's see, let's put the oxygen there, and the hydrogen there. So we need to connect the left and right sides. So the oxygen, then the hydrogen. Alright, looks like we're just about backed up on electrodes, which is good. Seems pretty close. Let's get rid of all these. And then we need a buffer somewhere, just so there's room for the whole process to continue. Something like that right there. And it doesn't need to have a limiter or anything. Alright, the steam engines are done. That's just a buffer to keep the system running smoothly. Okay, I think we're good enough to hook up the water and see how that works. And with this, everything should fire up. Probably consume a great deal of electricity. Yep. 5 megawatts just for that. Oh yeah, I forgot it creates slag too. Well, we gotta deal with that. So basically we want this right there. And say slag goes to the side. Let's just check to make sure we're not inserter limited. No. Okay, then we can do an underground right there. We need a long belt bringing this slag down. Okay, I just so happened to put this the wrong direction, so now that it's the right direction, everything should start flowing again. Leaving the slag to continue. Seems pretty good. Hydrogen's filling up. Oxygen's filling up. Oxygen is not connected right here. It all looks pretty good. Mineralized water is filled up. Because we're not doing anything with it. Or kind of filled up. Oh, I see. This doesn't quite reach all the way. Oops. Well, now it does. Well, we've got some byproducts to deal with here. We've got this hydrogen gas we need to burn off. So to do this, we need 4 fluid burning boilers and then 12 steam engines. Actually, we should have a top-up valve here because when we're producing nitrogen, we also produce some oxygen byproduct. Okay, let's put our 4 boilers here. I'm starting to worry about running out of water, but I guess we've got extra sources right here. There we go. Reconnect the water. Then we need to get hydrogen in there. And similar to how we have it done with nickel, let's have a pump here to pump stuff out. Let's say if it's over 5,000. Which is the case, so it's on. And then we hook all that up. This should all go. Not sure what's going to happen with water here. I don't know, it seems to be holding. And those are working through the hydrogen. And oxygen is basically full now. So now we need to do something with all this mineralized water, both from the sulfuric wastewater and also from cleaning the electrodes. And that's the end of this episode. In the next one, we're going to use all that mineralized water to grow some algae, and then start using our sulfuric acid to mine some ore. I'll see you later.